Good evening. Hello, hello. It's 8 p.m. or a little bit past. And it's the first evening stream in quite a while. Glad to be here and continue a very old tradition that I haven't been continuing for a while. Just streaming late and drinking a beer. So, guys, hope you are doing fine. Let me tune that music a little bit down. As you see here on the screen, I'm still waiting for an upload to happen. There's nothing happening, and I just realized that it was a really stupid idea to not do this before I started streaming. I'm going to end this now, and we're going to just look at the stuff that's running over there. My plan is, after 18 minutes, I have to call my plan unsuccessful, whatever. So, okay, let's do the stream. I'm sorry for the wait, but I see there's more people coming in here during, like, while I'm just talking bull, so that's great as well. JD, oh, greetings from Edinburgh. That's great, because this drawing is inspired by Edinburgh architecture. You probably know that already. So what are we going to do today? Let's talk about art. We have this series called Singing Doors, or I have that, and you probably know it, where I portray cities. And I want to make it the second season after portraying the cities of Brussels, Berlin, and Porto. And this is the first part of the second series, which is for Edinburgh, because it's a city which just discovered a little mistake. I need to add something here. Because I love the architecture. It's very, very unique, in my opinion, because I think these stone fronts you have there, the beautiful doors, beautiful windows and arcs and stuff is very typical and recognizable for the city. Probably, I don't know, Glasgow looks the same. I've never been, but I've only been to Edinburgh and Scotland before when it comes to cities. So maybe it's classic Scotch, but yeah, this is my kind of impression I got from Edinburgh, from the city. And last time, if you missed the last stream, was it last week? I think last week, I worked on the outlines, or not on the outlines, sorry, on the idea. So I came showing you how I come up with the whole composition for the artwork. And today is for coloring, because as you see, the outlines are pretty much done. It's very, very detailed. With this series, I'm very inspired by the Lean Claire technique, or the Lean Claire style, and it is my personal interpretation of the style, of course, which is based on, like the name says, clear lines, very simple kind of coloring, very clear in terms of the visual language. And my personal interpretation is very explicit on the single elements. So if you have this stone wall here, it's not necessarily typical for Lean Claire to have this like to be so insane and crazy to draw every single stone like I did here in the wall. But this is kind of my personal interpretation of the style, to be extremely explicit on the on kind of giving every element an outline. So you could of course draw this wall. You know, you have, oops, sorry, you have a wall here, and you have some stones, and you could of course do it like this, so very rough, and just it's in some parts give it all an outline, this, and then you start being a little bit more vague, and people's brains, the recipient's brains, are able to make a stone wall out of this in the end. Because brains tend to complete missing information on their own. But I didn't do that here. I actually went there and gave every little piece of stone a line. So that's kind of my approach for the outlines here, just to bring you kind of up to the current version and my thoughts behind it. I also don't hatch that much as similar, so usually I'm very, very strong at hatching, like for example, in these kind of situations, I usually do this very much, but I kept myself from doing that too much because I wanted to keep it really extremely clear. Where was that? Here. Go away. So I'm doing this very carefully, just like this, a little bit. Yeah, here we are now. Zachary, the event was NFT Paris, so it was kind of a mix of an art and a crypto tech event. But for me personally, it was all about the art. I didn't really dive into the crypto part at all. For me, it was just about meeting artists, going to art events, art exhibitions and galleries and stuff. So it's the event itself is kind of a hybrid of both worlds. Some lines, yeah. I mean, I have a couple of artworks in the book that have this vague approach. I don't do this like this all the time. Maybe I can find an example, but there's surely some examples of my work that doesn't use this extremely explicit technique, but in this case, yeah. And yeah, it would be some lines, right? That's a good idea. The missing part where I have to still look into, what I'll have to look into is the details, with like the black solid details within the bar scene here, because we will have later on, my plan is to have a scene that is in a little bit of a dusky light setting, and then I will have these windows, probably this part here, the bar, and maybe one of these windows. I thought about this one in the middle. I want to have illuminated, and this will be tricky in the end with the lighting. This will become like a nice challenge, and the question is like how much solid black areas I want to have in here, but I need some to give it some contrast for sure. So for example, let's say there's a room here. Yeah, that went well. Reference off. Let's say there's a room here in the back of the bar that you can't look into, and in reality, of course, it wouldn't be like pitch black, ultra dark, but we use this as a stylization here, as a bit of an artistic freedom when it comes to the light setting, to create more contrast. That's something that Linclair artists do a lot, by the way. So if you look at the work, you very often have, if you have something like a silhouette in the back, or some objects that are in the very background, behind characters, for example, that in reality would never be like full dark. They often do that because it creates a fantastic amount of contrast. And it's funny because it works really nicely, even though in the real world something would never be that dark or completely invisible. So let's see. My goal is to have the window with the bar illuminated, so you see there's a light on in there, but I don't want to have it too extreme in terms of the brightness later on. I just gotta find out the best way to do that. It's probably a bit of trial and error later, because it is a complicated situation that I need to tackle, that I want to tackle with limited, limited resources, maybe, because I don't want to use textures so much. I don't want to use overlay layers so much, like multiply layer modes, that's the word. Like these are layer modes, like multiply and overlay and soft light, etc. So this is kind of my way to keep it simple, to keep the coloring simple, but this also means that it is a bit of a challenge to set up the light in the right way. More hand more work by hand, and the technology doesn't support you that much. Kind of an old-fashioned style of illustrating, actually. The second edition, like the Some Lines edition of the Lines book, is just the same book, but I'm kind of reverse engineering the artworks by erasing stuff. Yeah, that's interesting. Good idea. Would also be a nice low effort way to release another book already. But I'm working on another book project, actually, so that's cool. I have something new coming up sometime later this year. I already mentioned it before, but so far I've been always quite cryptic about what it will be about, and I still will be cryptic about it today, because it's it's a project that's not revealed or officially announced yet. I'm very excited about it, and I think we are just maybe a couple days, maybe 1 or 2 weeks away from really announcing it to the public. And it will not be a coloring book this time, I can tell you so much. So it's not Lines Part 2, Some Lines, yet. I'm saving that for when I'm really out of ideas. Yeah, a book about a book about isometric perspective is a good idea, and I'm actually also it's something I have on my mind, is making a Curious Cabins art book with some insights into how I make Curious Cabins and the concept and the kind of technical part of isometry. Not really a tutorial book or something, but more like well, a bit similar to Lines, so that it has a couple of insights and background information, but so that it is mainly an art book. I want to do that sometime, but I don't know if I can do it this year. It's because I have the other book I want to work on, so we'll see. But yeah, it would be great. Maybe I'll do that when so my goal was to make 69 Curious Cabins, and when these will be all finished, all done, I think it would be a nice timing to do the book as well. All right, I'll keep it in mind if I need an assistant erasing lines. I'll give you an eraser and the artworks, and then you can do the job. If you can also do the layout and manage the production, etc., let me know, because then I'll just sit back and relax and let you do the work. Oh, by the way, I have nice news. If you're watching on YouTube, most of you do. I'm now officially a YouTube partner, which just means it sounds really like, wow, YouTube partner, man. Which is just that I have enough viewing hours that I can squeeze some money out of you. Now I can monetize my account. Just got an information this week that I am not big enough on YouTube to do that. I'm not sure if I want that, because last time, so I have my Patreon, and Patreon is going fine. I mean, it's not really super big, but it's a nice little side thing for everyone who wants to support me in a nice and small and easy way. And Instagram had these subscription stuff lately, so I signed up for that and started it, and then I realized that it was kind of stupid to start that, and I canceled it again, because I don't want to have like so many different platforms for people to support me. I just really would like to kind of focus on Patreon, but I think YouTube has like much more potential for this monetization topic and like exclusive content stuff compared to Instagram. So maybe give it a shot, but I'm not sure yet how I want to handle it, etc. So we'll see about that. It's interesting that you don't find good material. I feel really stupid, Raphael, because I feel like I should have done a course or something already. I know everything about it, you know. I mean, of course I don't know everything. No, but I think I could like give lots of information, put lots of information in whatever, a book, a course, or something, and I have this on my mind for so long, but I never did it, because I thought you probably find enough stuff about that online. People don't need like another artist making another course on this topic, but apparently it is really not the case, and yeah, I should do that. I heard that several times now, and that you're kind of going in the same direction. Gives me some motivation and confirmation that it is still great, or would still be great, to do something. Yeah, so the subscribers weren't that tough for me personally, but I had like the viewing hours were not so easy to reach on YouTube. That took quite a while, but I have to say that I'm still very, very far away from my goal, like how much I want to commit to YouTube. It's still I had the plan to do much more on YouTube, to produce much more content, but I just had too much other work to do, and I'm a bit too lazy. So recording a video still feels way too intimidating to me than it should. Of course I have like nice equipment now. I have better light, and I have a better camera than I used to have before. I have a good microphone. The only thing that I should probably update or improve is the room, so I think I could have like a nicer looking background and stuff like that. But the basic equipment is there to produce good videos, and I think in our art field, it's not even that important to have like a mega professional studio setup. But I'm just really, I think I'm just a bit too lazy or focus too much on other stuff that I feel more like doing. And yeah, it's still on my big long-term to-do list to change that finally. Ah, Dominik. Dominik ist auch da. Moin, moin. Well, Patreon is fine. It's not like crazy, but I think it also, like same with YouTube, I think Patreon is for what I'm doing there and how much I commit to the platform and what I'm sharing. I can be really happy about how it's going. There's some people who just like to support me there, because I think I should and could do better and more content there. It's just really about finding focus, like to decide what to focus on and to really push and work on it. When I say lazy, I know that I'm definitely not a lazy guy. I'm working on my shit like really much. It's just I'm sitting there and think like I have so many ideas for cool videos. I should really record it, and I need to write a script. And then I start writing a script, and then I realize that writing is probably not the stuff I enjoy most in life, but it is. Drawing is, or comes close to that. So I start drawing stuff, and then I'm like, oh, today I didn't produce a video, but I made an artwork, which is great, but which was not on my to-do list. So that's more how these dynamics are with me right now. So I'm procrastinating with other work, which is not really procrastinating. It's more like making a selection that wasn't my intention in the first place, or that goes against my intention. Yeah, but YouTube, I love YouTube for just what you said, Zachary, by the way. I love that I have videos that are not like junk content, and that's Instagram for me. Instagram is junk content. You make a reel, you invest 10 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes 3 hours to make it, you post it, the algorithm shows it if you're lucky for a couple of weeks, if you're unlucky for an hour, and then it's gone. And on YouTube it's great. I have a video, my most watched video, it has like a straight solid view curve, or not a curve but a line. It doesn't go like parabolic. I wish it would, but it doesn't. Like, it's not going like viral or whatever. But since I think maybe 1.5 years, so it just goes let me see, like this for you. Like this. And it's great because people are obviously still looking for it, or looking for the content, finding it in their search. It has 10k views now. It's really, it's fantastic, and it's how content should work. So to not make it like for burn and the bin, but for if you're lucky, like for many years actually. Grüße from the Netherlands. Rendelige Groot or something like that. Groot. It must have sounded weird for you. I can say goedenavond to the neighbors in the west. No, that's not Zwickel, but it's something similar. The beer is Nürnberger Rotbier. Camera is always... now it works. Very, very tasty. I can recommend it if you can get it in Dresden. Now I'm... there I am again. Perfect. Yeah, I think the final goal for content is probably really YouTube, and then, or let's say the primary goal is making content for YouTube. Then you take that content, cut it down to pieces, and post it on Instagram and in the shorts, and then you have you can I mean that's always the stuff that I'm recommending to everyone. Make content that you can reuse on other platforms. It used to be working for Instagram Reels and TikToks, but for me not anymore somehow. So the Reels, and I just take them and repost them with another trending sound on TikTok. It just completely fails all the time. I don't know why. TikTok is weird. But that should always be the goal, because it burns you out if you start making content exclusively for 5 different social media platforms. Same with Threads. I'm posting my Twitter stuff on Threads all the time, which works kind of nicely. I change the caption every now and then a little bit, so it fits the platform a bit better. But as soon as or if I have like a piece of art I'm posting on Twitter, only that I know, okay, I'm going to post this there, so I'm going to take the same piece and post it on Threads with a different text is helping a lot, because I don't have to like think about what should I post today, do I have any new content I can put there. So that's always really very practical. Goedenavond sounded pretty good. Nice. I have a couple of Dutch Dutch bits I can't say, but it's really just I can say something like ik ga naar Amsterdam, or what else can I say? Dit is heel mooi. Yeah, Raphael, the quality argument, I think I'm agreeing on that, but I used to agree to that more than I do today. Right now, it can change. It can change so often that what I say today is possibly not valid tomorrow. But right now, my opinion is focus on quality first, but still play the algorithm game and the social media game smart. So you can't rely on quality alone anymore. It used to be the way that you had like a couple of tricks in your sleeve, which was post the right hashtags, post to the right times, like consistency stuff. So the very basic stuff. And now it's gotten quite complicated and really very, very hazy and unpredictable what will happen. So it's I think once you focus on quality and you know your content is quality, it's a great foundation for everything. And then nowadays you really have to focus, unfortunately, more on how to post something instead of what you're posting. But the thing about quality is that once the algorithm changes once again for the 20th time in a year, and you discover there's a difference in how social media platforms treat your work, you can always rely on the quality and this foundation I was just mentioning. So something changes, you're confused, and you have to find out how to like ideally get eyes on your work again. Okay, but as long as you have quality work, you know, okay, I have the foundation and I can start from there and think like, well, how can I present this stuff? So I think coming from this side of the argumentation, I think yes, real strategy is quality itself, but there's so much more to add. And yeah, it's weird right now. I don't understand shit at all anymore. So for my Instagram, for example, I had many months of very, very frustrating posting because my posts didn't get any reach anymore. And then now, right now, it's going good again. So I made like 7,000 new followers in the last 5 weeks or so, I think. So suddenly it goes. I'm trying to see, okay, what did I do? And I'm trying to replicate that. But the good thing is, like, I have a big body of work. I have, like, from the last many years, I have so many artworks. I can always post them in a new way. I can try new stuff to repost that, and that's really great to be able to rely on this this quality body of work. So that's how I approach it right now. Experimentation. I'm trying out all the new platforms that are coming up. I'm always trying new apps like Threads or whatever crap they come up with. I'm very critical about it, but being critical about it doesn't mean that I don't use it, because I think part of my job description, unfortunately, right now is that I have to stay up to date with these apps. If I refuse to do that, I think I'm missing like part of the point of what my job is right now about, you know. Even if that's not fair or not cool, or if I don't enjoy it, at least like most of my time I can still spend making art. That isn't the case anymore at some point. Then you should be concerned, because if you're spending like 50% of your time thinking about social media and only 50% of the other time, or even less because you have to do taxes and write proposals to clients and stuff, so then you should probably be concerned. But as long as making art is the main part of the job, it's fine by me. It's playing the game. I can change the game. I'm not that don't have so much influence. So yeah, that's how I'm approaching it right now. Zachary, yeah, I'm using OBS. CC, yes, I do. I also thought about like a concept where I don't live stream, but I'm streaming my process, talking a little bit, or streaming it, not streaming, sorry, recording it, recording all my process and just make voiceovers with like a best of cut. But I didn't try that so far, so I'm really experimenting a lot. My best watched video on YouTube is actually just a time lapse. So it's a 10-minute time lapse video with no spoken word, just two little text windows, like with a little bit of text about the tech specs and some information, and that's it. That's my best watched video. So it's kind of the most simple way of making a video for me, but simple does it sometimes, right? Okay, let's quickly, while I'm talking all the time here, let's quickly take a look at the next step, because now it's time for the colors. I don't know what you think, but I think it's pretty much done here on the outlines. And I need to make the colors. So the previous Singing Doors artworks always were based on mostly a very simple 2-color palette. Like if you take this here, this is based on this teal, green, blue color, and then we have this rusty red, orange. It also is represented in this in these lighter tones like this. So this is kind of the same hue. Here's the hue. This is always pretty much the same hue, but sometimes it's like this. There's like lots of brightness and very desaturated, and sometimes it's this saturated, rusty, brick red kind of thing. So this is kind of based on these colors. And the same with the others. So we have the yellow ochre thing that actually is not far away from what I may want to do with the Edinburgh piece, the stone color. And the purple, of course, purple. And then we have the Berlin piece that is... this is more palette that is consistent or a bit more limited to this part of the color circle here with the purples and the oranges and some yellow, a little bit of yellow. And now for Edinburgh, I think one color is kind of inevitable here, which is the colors of this warm ochre, grayish, little bit of orange thing that the stones have, the walls have there. I love this warm stone color, so it's no cold gray stone, but really warm version of it. And I think there's kind of no way around having that showing up in the artwork because it's so characteristic. So that's somewhere. Oh, let's pick the. It's called disc. I always call it circle. It's called disc in Procreate. Maybe in other apps as well. I don't know. I actually recently put my iPad to English because I when I was recording and streaming, I always had it in German. I thought that was kind of stupid because everything is in English in my streams and videos, and it felt really idiotic to explain something in a German Procreate version. About getting subs on YouTube, yes, shorts have been working for me in a very good way, but stopped working at some point. So I like from 500 to 1,000 followers, posting some shorts made this really quick. So I just posted some, and I've been there at 1,000, and then suddenly my shorts didn't get so much views anymore, and I'm not sure why. I think it's because the shorts algorithm has changed quite a bit in the last month on YouTube. So what works as reels doesn't really work as shorts anymore. It used to be better. That's not a bad thing actually, because reels are fucking dumb most of the time. They still rely on this 4-second sensation. Sorry, but I'm still like, because of saving time, I'm still reposting my reels to YouTube Shorts, and that's probably why it doesn't work anymore. But I'm making around 200 followers each month currently on YouTube by just sharing live streams and putting up the live stream recordings as regular videos and an occasional regular short video, which I didn't do in a while, but yeah. So that makes me like 200 new followers each month right now, and I think they come pretty natively from YouTube because I shared my YouTube so often on Instagram and Twitter, but the conversion of followers from Instagram to YouTube isn't that high. So not that many people come from Instagram. I can see the numbers, right? I have the analytics, and I see that not so many people come over from Instagram to YouTube. It's just what it is. It's fine. But I think I'm making like more followers natively through YouTube right now, which I love, because I love to have people that use YouTube, not only have an account there, but use it for real. So, okay, this is a bit too saturated, maybe a bit too low on the brightness as well. I think it's also too much red, so let's give it some more yellow. Yeah, this is better. So I'm always, of course, a little bit exaggerating on the colors. The original stone wall, we can try it actually. We can make a screenshot. Let's take this here as a screenshot and show it to you. Copy and delete, and pick the colors here, and you will see. Let's do it like that. You'll see that the saturation will be a little bit lower on the photo. So you can see that very good here. So the saturation is in this area. This is the saturation area here, this bar here. This is better. So you put that here, and you see that this one here is much more on the right side. It's just like that photos often are. See, this one is here, this area, and I want to probably have it somewhere here, just to make the illustration more vibrant, more bright, more friendly, and that's just right what an art style is. So I personally choose to not use nature's colors one-on-one, but to change the colors into something that is a little bit more brighter. This one actually is a bit more saturated and surprisingly dark and rich brown. So this is not a bad color at all. Yeah. Oh, let's keep these. That music is a bit weird. Okay, so, but I think brown is, even though it's coming up there, I think I'm thinking, yes. I think, therefore, I am. I think I'm more like into this kind of stuff here. Let's try and see how it looks. I'm picking this area here to just make a couple of test runs. Yeah, there's even for making short videos out of a long YouTube video, there's even AI based apps right now that it's really crazy. I tried it, and this is on the wrong side again. I hate this reference thing. It's really so annoying. This is such an annoying bug in Procreate that it's always flipping the reference. So now it's back again. Okay. So you have these AI things that cut short videos or some kinds of summaries and stuff like that out of your YouTube videos. It's really really crazy, and gives it subtitles, etc. automatically, so you don't have to do anything at all anymore, which is really working not that bad. So I think I posted some like a video that has been made with such an app once on Instagram. I think it's not perfect, but not too bad already. So you can expect this to be something that works perfectly in a very short time. Yeah, I'm using the Paper-like screen protector. Appelmoos. Is that like mashed apples? Apfelmus in German. So sounds very similar to Apfelmus. Appelmoos. Yes, I'm using Paper-like. I know Paper-like is a bit expensive. There's a cheaper options as well, but it's still my favorite protector because it doesn't wear the tip of the pencil that heavily. So I had a couple of other ones that were feeling great, but I always had the tip wearing off in such a short time because I press down on the iPad quite harsh. So when I draw a line, I'm always like giving it lots of pressure, and this was something that the tips didn't like, and with the Paper-like there is some wear off, but not that heavily, so it's a bit better. Okay, so I think I like this color very much already. Something I want to do with the stones that will be annoying, but I think it will improve the whole thing in the end, is giving some of them a different color, like, you know, like this here. At least there's this color drop thing in Procreate that makes this much easier. Actually fun. I could hire an intern to do that for me. Maybe Zachary, if you want, you can erase lines and also do this for me. Okay, so I saw on one of the photos that just call them like corner stones, or the stones on the sides of the walls have a different color, and it almost looks like they're kind of from a different material to give it, I don't know, more stability or something. So I think that adds a little nice detail to it too. And they had like they looked like they were kind of worn off by wind and water on the sides, and I imagine, just really from a completely unknowing perspective, but I imagine that they probably, from like it's at least it's, I mean, after all it's Scotland, so they have lots of rain and wind, so maybe they are kind of worn off on the edges like this and getting a different color. Some of the photos had this interesting texture, so I wanted to have that in the coloring here as well. I think it looks really cool. So here the rain came from here, and here the rain came from here. I don't know. Maybe it's just bullshit, or it's just the water running down from above. Whatever, it's what I discovered in the photos. Well, art can be photography can be art as well, or is art as well. So I think I wouldn't say it should be an argument against calling it art with Anna, but it's possible that it's already taken, because art with Anna sounds a bit generic to me. I'm not meaning this kind of in a negative way. I love the double A, you know, art with Anna, so it's really easy to recognize. I would did you Google it and see what comes up? As need, you try to get the shop link. I don't know why it's not working. It should be. But I can just type it in here. So this is my print shop. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot to say, the print shop closes tomorrow. And this is my digital shop with brushes and stuff. The print shop closes tomorrow because I want to focus on making more art and making more products before I open it up again, maybe around April, May, around that time. But I have a couple prints left. I have a couple coloring books left, but I wanted to focus on making art and not shipping it. And I'm not getting so many orders lately, because I think most of the people who want to get a book have it now, and so I decided to close it, save the Shopify fee. Shopify is not that cheap actually, and open it up again when I have more prints. And I want to turn this one here into print as well, by the way, so this will be most likely available as a print maybe around May, early May, I hope. Back to the name thing, finding names for businesses is one of the hardest things to do for me personally, and I think for lots of other people as well. So it's extremely challenging, and it can be tedious and annoying, and because you have a name that works, then you see it's taken. It's probably even registered in the brands registry, so that's off limits. Then you have a great name that's not registered, but the domains are taken, and there's kind of the Instagram channel taken and everything, and you don't want to kind of, for example, buy a band or something, and then you don't want to kind of interfere with that. And you ask a friend and they tell you it sucks, and you're insecure about like going with it still, and all that kind of stuff is really it's so annoying. I hate it. And I've been just in the process of finding a name. Dominic, I don't know if you're still here, but I did it with this guy together. So actually, I think the process, I think it was one of the easiest and quickest name finding processes I've ever had, but it still was super annoying, because it's just like it's hard. It's really hard, you know. And so much is already taken. You find something that you like, you Google it, and you see, damn it, someone else is already using that, and then you Google it, and you find out that it means asshole in a different language. What do we got here? Sorry for bothering you. Yeah, but you bother me. I'm sorry, dude. You are actively bothering. Bye-bye. No, the digital will stay. I'm sorry, I didn't want to put pressure on you, but thanks for getting it. really appreciate that. And the digital one will stay in the Gumroad shop. So I will put down the put down the Shopify, but the digital products will all stay in the Gumroad. So, but yeah, thanks for downloading it, and much appreciated, of course. Okay, this is probably a bit too saturated here. Oops. I'm accidentally changing the other colors as well. I want to try and grade the colors a little bit with a balance tool. Let's see. There's of course I can do that in the very end, but I like to do that in between. Just as a little like mini adjustment during the process. Wait. Yeah, you can ask for suggestions for name, Anna, but it's I think in the end you have to come up with it yourself, but you can probably get a couple of nice pointers. So the reason I'm saying that is that opinions and tastes goes into very, very different directions, and especially with names. If you ask 10 different people how they like a name, you'll get 10 different and sometimes very, very different answers, except it's really bullshit or it's really genius, but most of the times you get very, very diverse answers. And oh shit, I'm on the wrong layer here. Classic. Woo. Very, very bad move. Should block it. Where's here. So and in the end it's really it's a very personal thing, and the name that's the first reason. The taste with names goes like apart, I think probably just as much as it diverts with lots of other creative disciplines. But there's a second reason, and that is that you have to fill the name with content and personality, and no one knows your own personality and the type of content you want to do better than yourself, of course. At least I hope, though, when it comes to personality. You never know, but it's of course you can describe what you want to do. You can be very, very precise about your goals and your concept for your business, etc. But in the end, you have your own plan in your head, and your like the concept and what you're aiming at with what you want to do in the future with under this name. And I'm pretty sure, like, I mean I know it's a very, very often used example, very, very non-creative to use this, but imagine Steve Jobs going to people saying that the new tech company he's going to found will be called Apple. Imagine like how many people will or would have told him or have actually told him. I don't know the real story, but I imagine it. Why do you want to call a tech company Apple? Are you totally dumb? Like, how do you have such a weird idea? Give it a name that reflects or shows the business you're in. And some will have said that it's like a completely random word and whatever. There's so many reasons to not take this brand name, but I don't even know if Steve Jobs was the one who started with the name Apple. I'm not sure about that, but I'm just saying that to make the stories sound better. And this brand has been filled with so much information and context and products and a vibe and what they stand for. And I know you're not a tech company, and you're definitely not Apple. I wish you all the best, but you're probably not going to be like Apple. but it's you're going to fill this brand and this name with something on your own, and this will stand for something. And it's much, in my opinion, and it's a philosophy, but it's an opinion. But in my opinion, the much more important thing is that you have a unique name, that it's easily to remember, that is unique in terms of that it's not taken by anyone else, especially in the same field or branch. That you like it, that it has a positive vibe to it, and then the rest is up to you. Yeah. And anything with art in it, of course, is working nice because it tells people exactly what you do. So call it Art by Anna, or Anna's Art Workshop, or Anna's Artsy Photography. Well, that's probably not the right one. The good point is that it's telling people what field you're working in, but I think that's not even necessary. So I see lots of Instagram accounts, even big accounts, that are called like Art by or name.art or something in that line. But I don't think it's necessary to be successful. But yeah, it's difficult. You can what's the verb of philosophy? In German, it's philosophieren. You can philosophate. Philosophie? Is it I don't know. You can think about it for hours and days, and it's very complex, very interesting. Philophi. Philosophicate. Ooh. I just was about to type it into translator, but thanks very much. Philosophone. Yes, I love philosophone. Oh really? You got like a in German we call it name cousin. Is that, I don't know if that exists in English. So a name cousin is someone who has just the same name as you, and I hope he's not in the same field as you, because that would be really annoying. That would be a good reason, actually. I mean, it's serious. That would be a good reason to give yourself an artificial brand name, like Creatify. Please take Creatify. I give it to you. You're allowed to take it from me. No, to give yourself like a made-up name, to be not mixed up with this person, because that's really annoying. I'm just thinking about my palette, so I want to color the windows with dark, some kind of dark gray. I'm just thinking if I should go more in this blue direction or more in this purple. I don't want to have the palette too close to the Porto artwork, because there was already this beige, orange and purple mix. I want to give this something unique. And I plan to have a nice color splash in this. I already forgot the name of this stuff again. Heath? Got a sheath or something. I want to give this something, even something stronger, some pink red. Because these exist in all kinds of colors, so I have really free choice of color here. I mean, it could work out. I can see that. His videos are just garbage. Okay, I see. Coined names. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, Häagen-Dazs is a made-up word. I thought it was a family name or something. Nice learning. Thanks very much. I actually thought it was it wasn't made up, but some Danish families' names. Give us a link so we can. I mean, no shame. Someone does dumb videos on YouTube. It's fine, but except the guy is like posting some racist shit or some really edgy political stuff or something that wouldn't be cool. But apart from that, yesterday I rewatched the Techno Viking not documentation, but there's a video like explaining how the whole thing went with the Techno Viking suing the guy who made the video and stuff like that. And I was just thinking about that, like, I mean, some guy also uploaded the Techno Viking and totally randomly, and it became a meme. So who knows if Zachary Ryan he's got 6.44 million subs? Okay. Jeez. What? Well, okay. I'm curious about the kind of garbage she does, actually. I thought you were talking about a guy who has like 2 subscribers and who filmed himself sitting in his basement talking about EA Sports games. I don't know. Okay, wow. Phew. By the way, what's your guys' opinion on music during my live streams? So I've been thinking, I only can play this royalty-free music here, which doesn't always really reflect my taste, but it's just running in the background, so it doesn't really matter. But as I've been thinking, like, as it doesn't really matter, why would I play music in the background at all then? Like, because you're watching my video right now, you're not watching it for the music, I hope, but you're watching it for watching, like for watching me drawing and talking about what I'm doing here most of the time, or talking some random stuff for what it's worth. But I've been thinking like doing no music at all, because you can put on your own music while watching me whatever you want to listen to. And if I just like have my music running here, you can't do that because it would interfere with your music. And so my I was considering not playing any music anymore in my streams so I could just listen to whatever I want to listen to. I could put up on earphones, of course. Yeah, I was just wondering about that. But wouldn't it make sense if everyone just put up their music they want to hear while watching me? And you can listen to your music. You can listen to my voice. That's it. It was just a thought, because it felt so natural to, of course, put up music in my streams, because of course, kind of part of the experience to have a little background beats. Yeah, maybe I'll just try it, because I had a playlist running with some nice music just before I started the stream, and it was a bit sad that I had to turn it off, because I'm not allowed to play it during the stream, obviously, for very good reasons, which are called copyrights. Yeah. I have Epidemic Sound, and they have a great selection of background music. It's really, it's a good deal to subscribe to them, in my opinion, but still, it's I mean, I use it for shorter videos, and I think there it makes sense, because you can underline your videos a little bit better. Yeah, on phones, sure, but do you think lots of people watch this kind of stream on a phone? And maybe who's on the phone? Let me know. Who of you guys? So there's 20 people watching right now. 15 on YouTube and 5 on Twitch. Who's on the phone? Who of you lunatics says that they're running on their phone? Identify yourselves. And maybe I'll try a stream with no music at all and see what, if someone complains, or if there's like only suddenly 2 people watching because they can't stand watching me without music. I gotta check out your videos, by the way, Zachary. So I'm just opening up your channel, and I will check out what you're sharing there. Okay, iPad. iPad I can understand. That makes sense. Atlas, you don't count if you stream it to your TV. That doesn't count. Oh, okay. Interesting. Phone while cooking. Oh, well, okay, sure. I like to watch stuff while cooking as well, until I cut my finger and curse myself for not being able to focus on one thing. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, if you're like watching the stream in the kitchen while cutting some veggies or something, probably nice to have some background music. I know that some streamers are not really caring about the music topic, so I sometimes watch streamers who are just casually streaming copyrighted music, which well, as an artist, I'm not a big fan of using other creative people's work without permission. Yeah, it's with music, it's, yeah, well, but that's not the topic. What I wanted to say is the problem is that I want to keep my videos on YouTube for people to rewatch, because I've seen that some of the videos are being watched later on quite a lot, and that's simply not possible with using copyright music, because YouTube just puts it on mute and you have like 50% of the video on mute, and it's just useless for others to watch, obviously. So that's my main non-moral reason to not use to not just have my Spotify running. My words of wisdom. That's nice. That's love to hear that you're calling it like that. Still have the plan to make a podcast, by the way. Should I share my idea for the podcast? I'll share the basic idea, so you can, as you're so actively chatting today, maybe you can give me some feedback if you want. No obligations, but I'll have a look at who never replies, and I'll throw you out. I wish that was possible. So you have to chat, like you have to be actively chatting at least with one message every 30 minutes, or you're automatically thrown out of the stream. That would be a nice feature. No, of course, lurking is fine. So my idea is for the podcast to have something like I'm thinking like the working title is something like the plastic or the purple co-working space. And I want to invite other creatives to apply to join the co-working space, or to get a desk in my co-working space. And the idea is to have them in a session where they just kind of digitally sit down next to me at their desk, and we're working whatever we're working on, and we're talking about the process, and I also want to ask like specific questions about the work of the people, because I don't like these podcasts where people just ramble along and just talk and you don't have like a specific topic. But I want to have like probably reoccurring questions, but also like dive deep into the process. And my idea is to have it like very much focused on the business sides of making art. So how to earn money as an artist, how to deal with the upcoming already ongoing AI revolution and the disruption happening coming in from AI, like how to still stay on top making money, how to acquire clients and stuff like that. So that's my basic idea. I think I do it on YouTube, but I would want to have the podcast, and that's where Jen comes in with like listening to this video while I work. I want to have I want to do something that you can also just listen to on Spotify or running, like having a video running while you're doing something else. Because definitely something meaningful and something like with a plan and a concept. And with podcasts, it's like I always think, man, there's already so many podcasts out there, just like the same topic that I mentioned before with tutorials. I'm always like, how can I even add something really meaningful and useful that people would want to watch or listen to. But yeah, I have lots of interesting connections with other artists, great artists in my field or other fields. I think I would just love to try it and see like what would come out of it, and if it's just like having a great conversation with other artists, then that's perfect. But so far I didn't have time. That's the problem of my life, of course, never having time for all the ideas, to execute all the ideas I have. Luciano, I'm sorry I'm distracting you. Please stay, but I'm sorry. Yeah, so cool. You all have like the stream running on the side. That's really nice. You see a face. You mean? Wait a minute. And that one brick above the window. I want to see it. Like somewhere here, because I thought that you know that a second. That this was a face here, like these eyebrows, and then there's like a so I saw a face there before, but in one of the bricks here, this one maybe or this one, there's many faces in there, damn. Maybe I should hide a secret message or something. Yeah, this one is oh. This one is like that, and here's one, there could be an eye, here's a nose, and a smile. Like a sloth or something, but it's or here, like that. Nice. I bet you'd find more faces in there if you look close enough. But I guarantee so far there's none on purpose. That's if there is some shapes coming out of there, it's by accident. Yeah, I think some of my streams are actually kind of podcast episodes, like in small bits. You know, sometimes I just sit here and draw, and it always depends on how active the chat is, because I just can't really sit here and talk without people interacting with what I'm saying. I'm not really good at that, so I need to have a conversational podcast and not like a podcast where I'm just talking on my own. I think that wouldn't really work. But I love to talk about art and discuss art topics and whatever it may be, like technical stuff about what I just mentioned, the business side, about conceptual stuff like what is art, what is the definition of art, stuff like that. It can all be so interesting, and I just love discussing it with other artist friends. So I'm thinking, why not just making a podcast episode? And I think it's, now we're back to the YouTube topic. I think it's great YouTube content because you have long form content. People watch it for, ideally, like the average view time is quite high because people watch the whole episode of 90 minutes or even longer. And yeah, it's something that you can produce very nicely on the side. Just sit down, put on the stream or put on the record button and push the record button, and you just see what's happening. So I'd love to try that. We'll see. So I have one idea for the project I mentioned earlier, the new book, yeah, the new book I'm working on. The new book. It will include other artists, so it will be a collab project. And I have been thinking about even inviting all the collab artists to do a podcast episode with me or with the team, because I think that would be great just as a solo piece of content, because the artists we're going to have for the project are all insanely good. But it would also promote the book project in a nice way, because people could dive deep into the work of the artists, etc. I'm speaking that out loud right now for the first time, and as I'm speaking and thinking, it makes a lot of sense. I need to write shit down. Yeah, Zachary, shoot me a message somewhere or a mail on YouTube, not on YouTube, on Discord or Instagram, or shoot me a mail, and I'd be glad to come on and have a chat. And sounds great. I've been on, I think, 3 podcasts before as guest, but 2 of them were German, so most of you guys probably wouldn't understand a word. And it's always been a real pleasure, because it's a very relaxed way of creating content. So, yeah. I just gotta take a quick break to get a new beer and to take a pee, and then I'll be back in 5 minutes. Or even less. Don't run away. Back already. All right. Yeah, I got a Discord. I don't know if the commands don't work once again, but oh no, it works. Here's the Discord invite link. So teachy learning book? No, it does. It's not going to be any kind of teachy learning book, but more like an art, comic, graphic novel thing. We're going to announce it very soon, so you'll see. But it's not nothing. It doesn't have any learning kind of content. But I'm going to do that well, sometime again as well. I like that music. Funky. Oh, there's some yeast in there I didn't get out. Damn. No. Cheers. I really enjoy this evening stream. Finally a late stream because it's, I don't know, it's got another atmosphere. Sitting here like after work. Well, it's doing kind of my work here, but still. Having a cold one, chatting with you, that's very nice. I'm going to head over to making some, or adding some shadows to the scene in a minute, because I want to give it some more variety and see how the shadows affect the palette, because I think right now it's looking good, but I had this on my mind before and I wasn't sure about how this would work out, but I was a bit concerned about the colors being too similar and the whole palette being a little bit too boring, so that the artwork doesn't have enough contrast within the color palette. And I think the shadows can solve that. And I'm going to try and see how that works out in a minute. If that doesn't, or if it doesn't work out the way I want, I could still try to change the colors of the stones a little to give some areas a little bit more, like to make this more red, for example, to give it like more in this direction. Go away from the real colors and give a little more like a made up fantasy kind of vibe, which would be fine. It doesn't have to be realistic. That would be one solution. But let me see how the shadows would go here. So as for the light source, I can show you quickly. We have, if you imagine this is the, what's that? Imagine this is the street in front. So here's the plant pots. Here's the window to the tavern. Here's the door. This is kind of the house front. It's a really beautiful drawing. I think I should sell it. I hope you understand what I'm drawing here. So this is the house front. This is this direction we're looking at it. And the light source is coming from somewhere here, quite on eye level, I'd say. So somewhere from here. So we have the shadows. This is something sticking out. We have the shadows going along here. It's easier to describe it because, like from a top view, I set this layer on multiply here, and I'm picking blue, purplish gray. Yeah, well, nice. Welcome to the server. Let's see. So For example, we have this part here covered by the shadow. And obviously that's what the shadow does. It gives it contrast and brightness, but because it also has a slightly tinted color, it also gives a contrast in color. Oh, that did not work as planned. Let me see. Ah. Is that a chicken? I think what kind of music is that? Ah ja, einen Abend zum Hansaring. 2-3 Kilometer weiter. Ja, sehr schöne Musik auf jeden Fall. If you wanna, yeah, the song is called Chicken Beat by Speedy the Spider. If you want to add it to your playlists, please go ahead. Well, I love that Epidemic has this kind of weird music as well in the library. Because why not? Love it. Spider Chicken, yes, kind of the same. Speedy the Spider, or yeah, I think Speedy the Spider. Absolute quality music. I think the shadows should be darker. I'm always using a clipping mask and a layer with a solid color for that, so I can, if I want, just change the color here as a please, in a very easy way. Okay. Something I'm a bit afraid of is these stones here. They are not flat, you know, they have a round surface. So to be 100% precise, I could give every stone a little shadow edge like this to support the round structure. This is possibly could possibly turn into very annoying work. Something again my intern could probably do. And I'm not sure if it would make the whole artwork a little bit too complex, because at some point if you turn too explicit and too detailed, an artwork could, especially when you look at it like in full screen like this, at some point it can turn to something bad, in my opinion. I think it does here. I'm trying a little bit more, but I think I don't want to have this. It's like when you have an image, like a photograph, and you add a sharpening filter to it, and you have this one point where the sharpening filter kind of over sharpens it. I'm pretty sure there's a more sophisticated and precise word for that than over sharpening, but it's the word I know. I'm a simple man. And this is where, you know, like, sharp is good, but only to a certain point. I think it's a bit too much. I think it kind of loses character. I'm going to not do this now. But I will maybe add this to some like the areas in between the stones, like these. I think that could be a really good method to add a little bit of depth and structure to the wall. Yeah. Yeah, it turns out I need a lot of... turns out I have a lot of nicely boring and repetitive tasks I could give an intern. I mean, I had an intern once, but she, I think she couldn't complain about the stuff she had to do for me. I think I was a really very nice boss with interesting tasks and real work for real clients. Okay. Yeah, these works are better. The areas here in between. I think that works better. Jo, schlaf gut. Danke fürs Vorbeischauen. pretty positive that the color palette is working out nicely this way. So I don't see two too similar palette or too homogeneous palette. So I think I'll stay with this palette for now. There's some areas like this one here where I want to add more variety in the colors of the bricks, the stone pieces, brick pieces, whatever. But yeah, it's I think it's working out quite well. Now this song is like some title of an 80s sitcom, like one of the real bad ones. It's long version, so the intro with the title just goes half a minute or something, and this is kind of the official song that is just the very same, but it goes like for 3 minutes. The door color is, I think there's a nice potential spot to throw in some alternative color as well. Not alternative color, but some contrasting to the warm brick hues I have in there. So for example, something like that. The original door, so I have a reference for this door that I based the design on. The original is more like this, I think. Looks okay. Not sure. It has a slight little touch of lime yellow. I don't know. I think I'd like something in this direction a bit better. What's with the music, man? Yeah, and I agree. Thinking about even like going more into classic blue direction, and for example for the windows here, something like that. I think that's a nice combination. Very classic cold and warm contrast in a desaturated, less screaming way. So, I mean, this screaming warm and cold contrast in this area would be like this. So very intense. And this is the less intense version. But yeah, I like it as well. I think if let me just quickly look what the name of these plants is in English again. It's called Heidekraut in German. Okay, you can call it Erica. I didn't know that. I had something else in my head. Heather or Heath. Yeah. I think if I give this like more like salmon or pink color, I think it's a great palette. So if you imagine like this here together with this, or maybe a bit more like salmon, like this, I think it works very well. It's very it's a contrast, a warm and cold contrast with the blue kind of sticking out, the rest being very harmonious. In color theory, if you read my book, you know that it is a bit like a split complementary thing. So we have this, and we have this area. So these two, this is the split, and this is the complementary. Not exactly complementary, because complementary would be this here. We're going over here, and we have this side of the circle. And by moving towards this side here on the complementary side in this direction, we're making the palette a little bit more harmonious than a full complementary contrast. That's the trick here. So the full complementary look would look like this. And we are going to see that this is not bad at all. It will also work. It's just not really that much my style, because like more harmonious contrasts. Oh yeah. Yes, so much for the little bit of color theory. You can learn more about that in many places. I didn't invent this, but it's in my book. If you want to read it in my own words. And if you want a printed copy, you have around maybe 18 hours left to order it, because I'm going to close my shop, my print shop, for a while. Not forever, no worries, but for a while. Okay. So where do we pick this up? Is it called Heather or Heather? Heather, right? I think it's Heather. I'm always confused by this combination of letters. It's I feel like sometimes it's pronounced this way and sometimes that way, and never. I find it hard to remember which way the right one is for which word. But my excuse is that I'm German. And the Germans usually speak a little different English. Especially with the TH. They can't really pronounce it in the right way. Most of them can't. Yes. I actually like the look. We had some in our garden with my parents when I was a kid. So, I mean, it's very wet and cold-ish here as well in this area. So I think it grows well here. But yeah, I didn't know it was very Scottish until I googled it for references. So I knew it from like this area here, so you can even buy it like in a pot in plant stores and shops, and looked up references and saw that it's apparently very typical in your area. It's not that easy to draw, by the way. So there's, I mean, it's not really super precise. I know it looks a bit different, but it wasn't easy to find a way to draw this stuff easily, because it it has these very small little whatever, like there's, I don't know the words, the little thingies on the side of the long thingies. Oh boy, I shouldn't talk about botanical stuff here. Yeah, I guess your weather in the Netherlands shouldn't be much different from here because we're just 45 minutes from the border here, so it's and whenever I go over to the Netherlands, it's also raining a lot, just like here. Quip and the pixels are very big. Well, maybe it's just your resolution or your brush settings. I think that's the two possible ways. So if you set up a new file, have a look at what the resolution is. So for example, I'm working in 4000 by 5000 here, as you see here, and I never use a canvas that's under 4000 pixels, so for 4K. And of course, if you have a low resolution, like, I don't know, 500 by 500 or whatever, you have not bigger pixels, because pixels are always the same size, but you have less pixels to draw on, because it's just 500 by 500. And I think that should be the reason. It could be brush setting as well, but I would look for the resolution first, and because that's a very obvious, that would be the very obvious reason for your image to look pixelated. The DPI have nothing to do with that, by the way, so they don't play any role. It's just about the number of pixels. If you do not know how DPI works and what it is, and if you think that it's important for your image quality, then you should probably watch a video I made on YouTube. You can link it here if you want. Just saying, because I didn't share this video for a long time. I made it to answer to any questions regarding why DPI are actually not important. So give me a second, I'll look for it. The video wasn't a big success, but I'm still happy I made it, because I can put it, or here you go, there's a link. I can send it to everyone, thinking that DPI are actually an important value of determining the quality of an image. Yeah, Münster. So Münster has the what do you say? Like, there's a saying about Münster that it's one of the rainiest cities in Germany. There's even people like analyzing if that's true or not, and all I can say is I'm taking my bicycle to almost everywhere I go here in the city. So I have a car, but I'm trying to not use it very much. Because I like to just ride my bicycle everywhere. And it's very often that I get wet. So it does rain a lot. And it sucks. But it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, sure, Quip, and let me know if it worked, because if it's still, if it's still looking weird, we can find, or we can look for another solution. No problem. There's apparently lots of people having this problem because I read about it or get it in the comments very often. And I don't know really, let me quickly have a look. I'm not sure what the standard resolutions for new artworks in Procreate are, because we have this, I mean, we have the A4, for example. If you take the A4, which is a standard paper size, it should be A4 in 300 dpi, because DPI is giving us the transformation value between pixels, and so yeah, we have 2480 by 3508, which is totally fine for making art that is not pixelated. So I don't know if there's any kind of standard canvas size that makes people's canvases go pixelated or something. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I would never work under 4K pixels, because you never know what you need the artwork for in the future, and I very much recommend always going minimum 4K, because screens right now tend to be tend to all have like 4K resolutions, new screens that come out. If you want to print it 4K, is still like an acceptable size that you can upscale with an upscaling app if needed as well. So I would definitely go for that minimum, whatever you do, really. It doesn't make sense to work in small resolutions. I wouldn't know why you want to do that. You can always downsize, but upsizing or upscaling can be tricky. Even though there's fantastic apps that help you with upscaling nowadays. I did a large for a large print. I did an upscaling lately, and it turned out really great, surprisingly great actually. But still, there's really a reason why to not work in the bigger resolutions from the start, except the layer count in Procreate, which is a bit limiting at some point. But yeah, even with like 4K resolution, you got at least like I don't know how many layers I have here, but it's not. So 48 layers. So with 48 layers, you can do some work. Yeah, resizing. I'd suggest to never resize the canvas in Procreate, because I think the resizing option, like the how it works in Procreate, is a bit weird. So I suggest to always resize in another app. I don't know, Photoshop, or there's even apps dedicated for resizing images. Like I like to use JPEG Mini to cut down file sizes and resize images with just one click. It works like an extremely simple way. You just upload you just load the image into the app and tell it, like, make the long size a maximum of 1500 pixels, and it optimizes the file size and cuts it down to the right size automatically, which is really like the most simple way. I feel like the resizing function in Procreate is a bit weird sometimes, and I don't like to use it. Oh, cool. I'm glad that it was the first and easiest solution. That's great. Oh, okay, now I see what you mean. You mean not resizing the canvas, you mean like this, right? Wait a second, resizing like this, the element, the layer. That indeed can be tricky. Did you try the options here? So give me a second. So if you draw something, and if you resize it here, you have options, 3 options actually. If you pick nearest neighbor, it's going to pixelate. See, pay attention to this part here. It pixelates. Called nearest neighbor. It's going to give you a anti-aliased. What's that again? I don't see it here. So there's anti-aliasing, something like that, and which smoothens the line or the object. And if you pick nearest neighbor, it doesn't do that, so it pixelates it. If you pick bilinear or bicubic, it anti-aliases the line. Sorry. And you see here, pay attention, see, it gives like these in-between gray pixels. Doesn't make it like black or white, but it gives like the in-between pixels. And does the same with bicubic in just a different way. I wouldn't know what the difference actually is. Problem is, it doesn't appear 100% sharp anymore. So if you compare the lines here, like this, depends on the brush by the way, but if you take these, you make it bilinear, compare it, the one on the right looks a little bit blurry, and the one on the left is like sharp as the brush is. If you zoom out, you don't really see difference, but I tend to like the nearest neighbor better, even though it pixelates it a little, because it has like the character of my brushes, or it keeps the character of my brushes. So you can play around with that and see if something works better for you here. But scaling an object is never really perfect, to be honest. Especially if you do it with outlines, you don't keep the outline size, because obviously if you scale an outline, it changes the thickness. No way around that. So except you're using vectors. So yeah. You do that a lot, like if you have to resize outlines a lot, maybe what you can do is try out Affinity Designer on iPad, because it's, first of all, it's really a nice app for drawing, and it has you can mix vectors and pixel graphics in one file, and if you have to like resize your drawing very often, you can start with a vector file, resize it all you want, and it even keeps the thickness of the lines, and then you can swap to the pixel version and do whatever you want. You know, that could be a solution. If the vector brushes are nice and usable for you, of course. I mean, that's... But I think it's a nice option if you want to scale up and down stuff. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Do you use Clip Studio on the iPad or on your computer? And the layer count is, to be honest, I'm not sure. So not the storage in terms of the how much space is on your hard drive on the iPad. It's more on the depends on the power of the iPad. Because I used to have the iPad Pro 2018, and then I got a new one. This one here is the 2021 version, and it can hold, like, it can manage more layers. So I think it's like the power of the iPad. And the hard drive on this one here is quite full, and it doesn't change anything. So it seems to not have any effect on the layer count. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's funny. I don't really. I had an XP Pen tablet for testing a while ago. There's also a video on my YouTube about me testing it, and I didn't like the XP Pen. The XP Pen. I didn't like it a lot, to be honest. I found it it was like feeling a little bit cheap, and the tip was a little wobbly and not really precise. The tablet itself was really nice, and I loved working with it, but the pen... So, they told me that they took the feedback and tried to improve on that, but because I found it a bit sad to see that they have a fantastic low-budget tablet that is, for the price, I would recommend to anyone getting the XP Pen if you're on a budget, compared to the Wacom. But the pen wasn't really nice, in my opinion. But it's good to know that you actually like it better than the Apple Pencil. That's interesting. So it's always, it shows that if you want to buy a tablet, you really need to try it out and see what you like better, like what does feel better in your own hands. Because whatever you read or watch online is doesn't help you near as much as just getting your hands on the stuff. I also still have another huge tablet here that I need to test and make a video for, which is the Sense Labs. What's it called? Wait a minute. Sense Labs Pen Display 24. It's really huge, like 24 inches. Feels super high quality. Really, I unboxed it so far and made a little unboxing video. But I still have to do to make an artwork with it. But it feels really great. But I'm not sure if I like this big tablet. It's probably just a little bit too huge for me. Personally, I like the small and portable ones better. Yeah. Once you got your personal preferences set up, you kind of turn into a super stiff, like a stiff old man, not wanting to change anything in the world. I know that very well. So you never want to kind of, if the software changes, you're like, no, please keep it all the same. I can't have any changes. was kind of meditative to draw, or is kind of meditative to draw the heathen. Heathen. This kind of bothers me here, this part. Yeah, the review stuff is I'm not sure. I mean, they're not paying for it. It's kind of very cheap marketing for them because they sent me a tablet that cost them just not really much. But I think it's a nice win-win deal because I have content to produce. I get free tablets, obviously, which is cool. And I can try them just for myself, you know, and can really do an honest review. And just keep the stuff that I really want to use as well. So I know, for example, I tried that Huion canvas tablet a while ago, and I was surprised how good it was. It was better than expected. So I replaced my Wacom with the Huion, and I sold the Wacom, the old one, and the Sense Labs. Of course, I mean it's great to get that just for testing and keeping, because I think it costs more than 2,000 euro or something. So it's fantastic. It's cool. But of course it depends like what the tablet producer is asking for. So for example, with Huion, I recently had the Huion tablet here. That was not a review, that was just really me being an influencer and artist working for them. So I got the tablet not for testing it on my YouTube channel, but for just using it for an artwork, posting about it. I mean, the MatePad is actually nice. I was glad it is nice, because it would have sucked if I would have not liked it, and then I would have had to promote a tablet that I thought was probably not that good. So I don't know if I would have been able to do that, to be honest. Sure, if I'm like such a hard business guy to promote stuff that I don't really stand behind. But with the Huion and XP Pen, and also with the Sense Labs, I can be 100% honest and even like do a rather bad review. And with XP Pen, my review wasn't that good, so especially because of the pen, and they were really kind of thankful for me being honest and taking my feedback and everything. So that was really cool. The only brand that never wants to do these reviews is Wacom, and they really should pay attention to what's happening, because they used to be like the brand for tablets and drawing gear, and they are kind of fucking it up right now, because they seem to, I mean, I know an artist, for example, who has good relations to them and who's not working for them, but kind of is a little bit of kind of a brand ambassador, and apart from that, I think they should really kind of be more like interacting with artists. And I'm not saying that they should give away the tablets for free, but they're kind of losing their position in making the best tablets out there for high prices, but the best product, because now there's other brands coming up with low prices and great products that I don't see any reason for paying the higher price anymore. And you can you can deal with that through great marketing, through partnering up with artists, and etc. To position yourself as the brand that's there for the artists and kind of the first choice brand, but they're not doing that. And I think Wacom is going to have some problems in the next years. And that continues. Yeah, the affiliate thing isn't really working for me so far. I set up some affiliate links on my YouTube videos, but I think I have to be bigger to actually make money from that. But yeah, sure, I think there's lots of influencers and artists earning a really nice income on the side from posting affiliates and stuff like that. Sure. Wacom used to be years ago, so when I started out as a digital artist, my first tablet was a Wacom Bamboo, like this small, little small plastic thingy, cost like $80 or something, and it was great. I mean, Then I got an Intuos. My employer bought me one after convincing them that digital art was something that they should. That we should do more in the firm, and that I would be capable of learning and doing it. They bought me a Wacom Intuos 3, I think, the gray big one. Back then, like, it was really huge, and but it was so reliable. It was so precise already. I didn't even realize back then. I thought like, okay, this is like the first choice graphic tablet, and it's like indestructible. Okay, but nowadays I'm like. They built such great stuff back then, and it was ahead of the competitors. So Wacom was kind of, for me, the go-to brand all the time. I didn't even consider using other brands. And then I got a Huion as a student because I was on a low budget, but I wanted a screen tablet and not like one of those tablets where you draw and watch on the like with the Intuos. And back then screens were still really expensive. That changed over time. It's been like 10 years or so since not 10 years since I got the Huion, maybe 6 or 7 years. And the Huion was shit. And then Huion reached out to me last year asking if I wanted to try the new tablet. And I'm like, oh, that Huion I had was such a piece of crap. I don't want to try it. But yeah, okay, send it over. Let me have a look. Maybe something changed. It's been a couple of years. And I plugged it in, and first of all, the driver worked. That was something new. I didn't know, because the driver of the old one always was kind of really messing with me. And then the tablet is just really great, and I don't even recognize any difference to the Wacom that's a couple $100 it's more expensive. So, and I'm like, whoa, crazy. They caught up to Wacom. So they have the same quality as Wacom now. How do they do that? I don't know. So yeah, that's where we are today. Wacom literally had no competition for years. Oh yeah, that was another story with the AI generated. I mean, I'm not a anti-AI artist per se. I always want to point that out because I like new technologies, and I like to be open, and I like to be experimenting with new technologies, and I don't want to hate on everything. I'm very concerned about AI and the stuff that's happening right now, and I'm very concerned about how it may disrupt the creative industry. Even more concerned about what will happen to society if we are surrounded by fake news. And we just had a case in Germany where a news speaker from like the state, from like the public broadcasting, a news program was like, there was a fake audio where he was telling that all they send on the public broadcasting stuff was like fake news. And it was played like on some right wing propaganda shit event. So I'm very concerned what AI will do to our society, to be honest. But that's another story. So I want to say that I'm open to the new technology, but Wacom. So how can he be that stupid? I mean, your core audience, your core buyers who get your stuff are artists who make their art by hand, because obviously what else would you need like the Wacoms for, the tablets for? Of course you can do photo retouching, and there's some like photographers who use it or whatever, but in the end you have like creatives who make their art by hand. So how dumb must you be to use AI generated art in a campaign? You have literally millions of artists out there who use your products. Reach out to them, tell them, hey, we want to make a campaign and we want to license your art. There will be lots of people willingly giving you licensing their art for a campaign. I did it before, by the way. I had a piece licensed by Wacom years ago for the website, and so in short, what happened is Wacom used an obviously AI generated image. It wasn't even really good. It was obviously AI generated in one of their online campaigns to promote their products. That was what happened in very brief summary. It's even if an intern or some kind of student working in their office did that, I mean, even them, like, it's so funny to me because it's so stupid, you know. Insane, really. Oh boy, yeah. Yeah, well, that's see, I mean, I'm glad that happened. Somehow I'm glad it happened because it showed everyone like how these companies think, that they probably don't give a shit about artists, about the people who buy their products. Sorry, really, but that's what I learned from the whole story in the end. And I don't think it's even like there's people who wanted to boycott Wacom and said let's not buy their products anymore. I'm like, yeah, well, if you love the products and if you rely on them as an artist, whatever, it's just like a marketing department who did a really stupid mistake. But yeah, people won't forget that so quickly. Pretty sure about that. I'm calling it if they're not making a big change in their strategy in the next 1 or 2 years. I think they're probably becoming irrelevant. I've called it. It's recorded on my YouTube. I won't delete it. Let's take a look at this video in 5 years and see what happened. Maybe we're all not going to use. Like maybe in 5 years we're all not using tablets anymore because nobody makes handmade digital art anymore, or it will have become a niche or something that only people do for like as a creative outlet in their free time. Let's see about that, but there should be a change in their strategy. Yeah, you'd think so. Especially Wacom as a Japanese company, as they are very traditional, and I don't think they. I think they have like lots of hierarchy steps to go through to sign off a campaign or something, because they are actually quite traditional, etc. And also like how they handled it, like deleting it from their profiles, trying trying to hide it and see what happens. Like if maybe we're lucky and it gets like people forget it by tomorrow and no one will talk about it anymore. Yep. Well, fail. You did not understand how the internet works. I'm going to call the stream, or call an end to the stream in a minute, by the way. If you have any additional questions or want to say something, please do very soon. Because it's just about to turn 11 here, and I'm not going to bed, but I think I will take a little relaxed hour in front of the TV before going to bed. It's crazy how fast the time always runs when I'm streaming. I'm not sure why that is. I mean, I do the stuff that I normally do, which is drawing, but not much. Usually not talking, because I don't talk to myself while drawing. Yeah, it's always running fast. Oh yeah, we got hacked. Yeah, if they would have pulled that off, that would have been crazy. Yeah, I got the Wizards of the Coast thing, yeah, and they even have like officially an anti-AI policy, so they guarantee kind of that they're not using any AI, and they try to even fool people by saying, hey, this is no AI stuff. You're wrong, right? So I mean, if something like that happens, just the one thing you should not do is tell people, hey, you're wrong, you're lying, we don't use this. We don't use any AI stuff, man. I mean, people will find out. Yeah. Yeah, Zachary, thanks for having such a nice and engaged chat today. It was really cool. And let's do that again sometime. And yeah, if you want to do a podcast episode at some point, I mean, let me know. It's would be a pleasure to do that. To do that in the future. Just let me message somewhere, and we'll come up with something. Yeah, definitely. It definitely is more engaging. I mean, I don't mind sitting here on my own just drawing. Some artists even do silent streams, I think, so they just draw and don't have the mic turned on, but I think that's not really the point in in streaming, because in that case I would just record my process and upload it to a pre-made video, and that's it. I would need to stream for that. Yeah, I'm happy how the artwork developed today in these 3 or 2.5 hours. I have to I don't want to include the time I sat here watching an upload, not actually uploading something. So yeah, I'm glad that the color palette is working out nicely, and I think I'm going to finish it maybe until early next week. I'm going to post it first on my Patreon, so if you're very curious about the result, the end result, check out my Patreon, and then I'll put it on to show it to the public sometime later. But yeah, I think this will be a nice addition to the series. All right, guys, thanks so much for the lovely chat today. It's been really cool that some of you guys have been so active. Like I said, I appreciate that very much. And I'll be probably live streaming the next part of this series or something else. I'm not sure yet. The next part will be Barcelona, right? So I've been working on the scribble here a bit, but it's not really far. So in a very early stage. So I may just stream some of that process. We'll see about that. I'll decide that soon. All right. Have a nice evening. Have a nice day if you were in the western part of the world. And see you soon. Bye bye. Here's my hand. Bye bye.